The Irish fans standing for their national anthem, as you can see. Very good conditions. The one problem the Australians may have with this game is the ball, not only the shape of it, but the lightness of the ball. It's a far lighter ball than the one we're used to, and that could test them out, especially in the first quarter. There you can see some of the dignitaries from Ireland taking their seats. I also noticed Wayne Jackson, Chief Executive Officer of the AFL, who is there. And now let's stand for the Australian national anthem. So there they are, the boys getting ready for this first test. We're going to take a break, then we'll be back with all the live action here on 7 from Croke Park.
And there's a scuffle ahead of play. It's more than a scuffle. That is an international incident. Well, this is going back to Ireland, and one doubts what this will do for the image of the game. Johnston and O'Leary seems to be the main event. And one of the Ireland players being refrained there. Spillane trying to refrain Johnston. Don't know what triggered that. It was off the ball, and certainly it ignited very quickly indeed.
Yes, Dennis Committee taking us back some 8 years to 1990 when that scuffle broke out, more than a scuffle, between Wayne Johnston, who of course the former Carlton champ representing Australia, and John O'Leary, at the time representing Ireland. John has traded his boots since then for the microphone, and he's going to be calling our game with another man. I don't know whether he's of Irish descent or not. Perhaps we can find out now. Drew O'Morford, who made the trip over there and is heading up the commentary team. So Drew, welcome to you, my friend.
Thank you very much, Sandy. No, more Scottish, my background. Not really O'Morford at all, but John O'Leary, who did captain the Ireland team in 1987, is the current coach of Dublin, joins us in the commentary box. Afternoon, Jack.
Thank you very much, Drew. It's great to be here.
It's fantastic to have you on Australian television. I'm really looking forward to this because I know your boys have made concessions with the rules, and so have ours, so it comes halfway, and so there'll be a little bit of an adjustment for both teams to make.
Yeah, it's strange. The previous series we played a warm-up game, 3 or 4 days before the actual test started. I haven't done it this time, so it'll be interesting to see what happens the first 5-10 minutes of people settling into the game.
Enjoy the game, and thank you for joining us.
Drew, just interrupting to you, I was just having a look at our pictures there, and because they're coming from our friends in Ireland, but we were seeing a shot of Sonia O'Sullivan, the great distance runner, so some celebrities there as well today. What about the conditions, Drew?
Yes, well, as Dipper said earlier on, there's a blustery wind blowing down the ground. As we look at the ground, it's going right to left, and so it will be at the backs of the Irish players in the first quarter. So it might make it a bit tough for the Australians, but as Dipper has mentioned, and Dipper's on the match committee with Gerard Healy, and of course Lee Matthews is coach, so Channel 7 does have some sort of say in this game. They want the Australians to be able to handle the ball and work it into the breeze in the first quarter to get used to the conditions. But it is very, very strong, I can tell you that. But at least it's sunny. When we arrived last night from London, light drizzle falling. But it's sunny. The temperature would be, I suppose, about 14 degrees, something like that. But it is very, very windy. Andrew Coates is going to get us underway. They're called referees here. And Wayne Carey takes the first hit out. Down to Nathan Buckley. And Buckley up to Eagleton, who marks the ball on the 45-metre line. Nathan Eagleton from Port Adelaide kicks towards the goal. He's very wide. But coming out of defence is McConnell, the goalkeeper, and getting the ball out. And of course, John O'Leary, who's with us, is a goalkeeper, so he might be able to keep us up to date with the particular skills the goalkeepers will show. And of course, in goal for Australia is Stephen Silvani, playing the role, the like of which he hasn't seen before in his life.
Yeah, his position has caused Australia problems in the last couple of tests, so the secret to them is really not conceding goals. 6 points will kill them off.
But you can see the distance that they can kick the ball with the breeze. And the Australians are going in for the gang tackle. And the crowd not too happy with it. There was no whistle on the play. Robert Harvey brings the ball out. Eventually it goes out and over. And I think the crowd are warming to this in the first minute, John.
Yeah, that's great. I think, I don't know whether it's the football or waiting for a few fisticuffs, but it's really get them going.
And there's a mark over the back to David Neitz, who is lining up in defence. A different sort of a role for him. And Nathan Buckley will be just roaming around. They don't really have followers in this game as we know them. More called midfielders, but Nathan Buckley is playing midfield with Wayne Carey. They have two in midfield. Buckley goes for the short pass to Smith. Buckley gets it back. Kicks over the midline. The ball is tapped on cleverly, but it's taken here for Ireland by Tohill, who had some experience in Australia. Crawford tries to soccer the ball away and goes in very hard, and down goes Jarlath Fallon. High ball by Australia back to midfield. Carey goes for the big mark. That's what the locals want to see, but he couldn't come down with it. Tohill for Ireland. Puts it wide to Canavan. Very high with the breeze. This could trouble Australia in defence. The ball knocked through for a point by Brian Stynes. So the first scorer is the man with experience in Australia, Brian Stynes, who of course is Jimmy's brother, and they're opposing each other today, the two brothers. Nigel Smart bursting through a pack. And he's got a bit of space. Very difficult to control the round ball when you've spent your life kicking an Aussie rules ball, and that one's gone out of play. Well, Brian Stynes made his presence felt early.
Yeah, Jack. Good to see Brian's on our team from Dublin, and it was a good score. Australia needed to carry the ball into the wind and into the sun. With the wind, Ireland can just knock the ball along and keep them under pressure.
Shane Crawford hit the ball very hard, but it comes Ireland's way. The ball put out in front of Stynes, but he can't reach it, and it beats him out of bounds.
Drew, Dipper, how are you, boys?
Yes, mate.
I've got to tell you, this breeze has certainly picked up the last 2 or 3 minutes, and Australia's certainly kicking into a very, very strong breeze.
Neitz gets pretty good distance into the breeze, but a safe chest mark taken by Anthony Tohill, 22-year-old from Derry, who had that experience in Australia early in his life. And it was Bones Richardson who really got the experiment going with the Irishman coming out to play Aussie rules in Australia. Stynes gets the ball out wide to McDermott, the skipper. Down he goes. It's taken by Hart of Australia. Stevens pops it up in the air. It's knocked forward for Ireland. A chance here for Fallon, and Fallon gets one over the crossbar. That is called an over and a three-pointer.
Yeah, great point by Jarlath Fallon. He played with Galway in the All-Ireland final a couple of weeks ago, and he'll do that all day.
And the ball very quickly back into play. So Ireland 4, lead Australia 0. It was interesting, the score that Brian Stynes got. You can punch the ball through. It doesn't have to be kicked as in Australian rules.
John O'Leary, Dipper, how are you, buddy?
Not so bad, Deborah. Good to see you again.
Nice to hear your voice there, son. Now listen, the number 2, Peter Canavan, he's a very specialist forward, isn't he?
Yeah, Peter Kahneman, we won the Ireland final in '95, and Tyrone, his county, scored 11 points, and Peter scored 10 of them from play and from frees. But he's that point Jarlath Fallon got a few minutes ago, he did that all day, and Australia need to close him down. Players like himself and Kahneman.
Well, you could see Stephen Silvani's kick out, and the ball swirled away in the breeze. The drop kick employed here by McManaman. But Shane Crawford in defence for Australia. Across the ground he goes to Buckley. Silvani, the goalkeeper, has left his area and continues to go up the ground. Rowan Smith clears the half. Carey with a little hand pass to Eagleton. Eagleton with a bit of distance into the breeze. Here's the wizard, Jeffrey Farmer. He's got only one player in front, the goalkeeper, but he's dragged down from behind. The crowd love that. Not much tackling goes on in the true Gaelic game, but the tackles are allowed between shoulder and hip.
Yeah, tackle's probably one of the problems we have in our game. We've picked a little bit from Australia, but shoulder to shoulder is a legal tackle. That's Fallon again.
Great half volley pick up in the middle of the ground by Jarlath Fallon. Crawford has to do the business here. Canavan beats him, puts it in. This could be a goal under the net. Well saved by Silvani. Brilliant save.
Good save. I'll be proud of that myself.
And the ball out of play. Well, that looked a certain 6-pointer coming up for Ireland. But the Aussies not out of trouble yet. This is Dermot McKay.
Yeah, that's a good save, sir.
And he bends it back with the breeze for another over. And Ireland go to 7-0. Australia working the ball back into attack. Very open forward line here for Australia, but taken off the ground by Nallen. Putting the ball out in space to McDermott. The skipper, John McDermott from Meath, with the little hand pass to Brian Steins. He goes for another one over. Another 3-pointer. Well, the Australians having all sorts of trouble, and Ireland really enjoying this period with the win. They lead 10-0.
Yeah, Ireland are going well here. Plenty of room around the 50-yard line, and you know, Irish players were well able to put the ball between the posts for 3 points from that distance. And McDermott should put this over.
Mark Prosciutto standing the mark. McDermott from a long way out. Silvani keeps the ball in play. He saved a certain goal earlier on. Hart to Crawford. Popped over the top to Rowan Smith. Smith puts it out in front of Farmer. He's got Carey if he can tap it over the back. But magnificent defence for Ireland by Fay. And referee Andrew Coates has signalled, I'm not sure what the signal was, maybe a shepherd against the Irishman, and the free kick will be taken by Australia, or for Australia, by Wellman.
And Camporelli on now for Stevens. That's the first interchange for Australia.
On his own is Buckley. Bit of a chance now for Australia. Centering ball misses Harvey. Harvey goes in to apply the tackle, but McGeeney clears for Ireland. Brian Steins in midfield. Bumped by Smart as he got rid of his kick. The ball gets behind Hart. There was a push. An Ireland free kick. Be taken
Johnson
by
coming on
Devaney.
for Australia. And Wayne Campbell going on, Drew.
Breeze at Devaney's back. He puts it high. Lets the breeze do the work. But he is offline and no score. How quickly do they bring the ball back in? Silvani to Buckley, covering the whole of Croke Park, Nathan Buckley. But unfortunately, so are his kicks, and that one floats out.
Yeah, Ireland doing well now at the moment, sure, we'll be happy.
There's a mate of yours, Michael Curley, who's
Curley, yeah, he
Ireland's umpire.
That's right, he refereed us in the championship this year in the replay. We got beaten, and there's a lot of favours.
An inspector of police.
That's right.
And he'll rule a football game about the same.
He will. You might guess it sharp from the way he referees the game today.
This is Mark Prosciutto, who hasn't been in it early, but getting a touch near halfway. Ball drops a bit short into the breeze. Eagleton, beautifully played, out to Wayne Campbell. Hooks the ball back in front of goal. Farmer out of position, but great goalkeeping by McConnell. Look at the distance he gets with his kick. Wellman, the All-Australian centre half-back. Buckley, kick dropping short. Ball kept in for Ireland, but Campbell for Australia. He's got to beat 3 of them. Well, 3 of them all got him, but it's going to be a free here to Wayne Campbell. No, it's gone to the Irishman. Will be taken by McDermott, and his kick really not to the advantage of the side. And this is non-stop flowing action. Stephen Silvani leaving his goal line, well up the ground, to Shane Crawford. Well, that's a skill that we haven't got in Australian football, but Crawford used it pretty well. To Nigel Smart. He couldn't score from there. Prosciutto. Farmer stays down and leaving the mark for Fay.
Yeah, Fay's playing very well. He's got a couple of good catches, and he's causing the Australians problem there in defence.
Darren Fay. Well, that's right to just about halfway. Buckley forced the ball forward. Campbell. Robert Harvey on the run, as he's done for the last 2 years, to win 2 Brownlows. Attempt by Holland, couldn't come down with the mark. And cleared out of defence by Finbar Cullen. Gets behind Smith. He's in a bit of trouble here. But Rowan Smith plays it well. Campbell had it spent before he got it. Play on. Harvey back to Campbell. Well played, Wayne Campbell, eventually. Eagleton with a fly, but couldn't take the mark. It comes to Brian Steins. Jimmy hasn't had a run yet for Australia. Hand pass over the top by Sean Lockhart. Back to Steins. He bounces over halfway and centres. This is good play for Ireland and looks very dangerous for Australia. But the hand pass by Canavan went behind his teammate. Now a chance for McMenamin. He puts it high but wide and gets himself a point. So in the Gaelic game, there aren't any behind posts. So actually, I believe they used to have goal posts early in the century, but they dropped them in about 1910.
That 1 point is a bonus for Conor McMenamin there, because in their game, he got ball out of the game for that.
Buckley. There was interference before the ball arrived. Player held when not in possession. Free kick to Australia to be taken by Matthew Lloyd. Now, can the Australians manage a score from here? Ireland lead Australia 11-0 in the first quarter.
Yeah, he should score from here for you as well within range. We'll see how it goes.
Round ball awkward for the Aussies, and he misses to the left-hand side, but at least it's the score. Australia on the board with a point to Matthew Lloyd. Anthony Tohill. Here's a clash of bodies coming up, but beautifully played by McDermott. 28-year-old company rep. Oh, it's great handling by McCabe. Down goes Smith. And the referee, the police inspector, having a little word. And Smith to take the free kick for Australia to Crawford. 11-1 for Ireland. Here's David Neitz. Once again, Stephen Silvani leaving the goal line. Eagleton has started the game well. Actually wasn't picked in the original squad, but made his way in and started in the 15. Nathan Eagleton, a very high ball. Lloyd, number 3 for Australia. Ball knocked back in the path of Camporelli. Under pressure. Rasciuto. Whistle had gone before the kick had been taken. And it's going to be an Irish free kick.
Drew, Paul Brewster's come on for Ireland, replacing Colin McMenamin, because he's got a shoulder injury at the moment.
Could be a loss to Ireland, because McMenamin is one of those players who runs all over the field, and I'm sure Conor Moroccan manager wants them to get the ball in the fence and pop up later on and move up front.
How many possessions for Buckley? Oh, unfortunately, he's given it straight up, and here's a pop for goal, which is over the top. No, missed to the left. 1 pointer. So Ireland 12 lead Australia 1. Brad Johnson going for a run for Australia. A very high ball. Lloyd caught at the back. It comes to the front, off the ground, or Eagleton. Kick was blocked. Oh, the soccer kick, perfect. Out here to the skipper. McDermott beats Harvey. McDermott to the forward line. Silvani's back on his goal line this time. He might need to be, but Buckley's there to slap the ball out. He hasn't cleared the area. Crawford in trouble. Buckley helps him out. Oh! And should I mention, but I think Crawford had a little bit of a haymaker behind the play. Smart. Hand pass behind Smith. Hart. Rasciuto. Wellman. A few South Australians combining in midfield. Wellman to Lloyd. Lloyd thumps the ball in, looking for Eagleton. He gets rid of his man beautifully. Nathan Eagleton, well played. Shot for goal. Missed to the right-hand side, a point.
Very poor clearance by Fenmore McConnell there, straight for Australia back in the play again.
Now here's Robert Harvey. The breeze into his face and across him, although it's a very fluky breeze. It's hard to judge it. Comes in short to Anthony Stevens. This line here is a 45-metre line. A lead wide by Lloyd. He's running out of room and taken over the line in a good tackle. And the tackler for Ireland, Darren Fay.
Darren Fay's having a good game too.
Back into McConnell, the goalkeeper. And Nick Holland standing the mark. And look at the kick by McConnell. over halfway. Knocked forward by Smith of Australia. But Ireland get the ball. It comes down to Canavan, who's dangerous. Bursting out of defence, Neats. Here's a chance for Ireland. Brewster just off interchange. Good mark, Silvani. Oh, then he spent it. And that is a score to Ireland. Any way it gets over the line from either attacking or defending team is a score. A point to Ireland. Silvani kicks in. It's 13-2 Ireland. Here's the captain, McDermott. To Stones. He's right in front. Nobody to beat. Pops it over the bar. Three-pointer.
Yeah, Drew, the Australian market is very poor now. Ireland should have had a goal there, possibly. Peter Canavan was free inside. Still it's 3 points.
So Brian Steins has scored 7 of Ireland's 16 points. Stevens for Australia. A big pack here. Harvey at the front. Robert Harvey going for one of his customary gallops. Ball flipped in the path of Rashudo, but he went past it. The ball over the line.
Yes, Drew, they've got to do a lot more in front of the packs now, the Australians, because the Irish boys are reading the ball much better.
And you'll notice that when the ball goes out of bounds, the free kick is to the team which didn't touch it last. So if you touch the ball over the line, the opposition get the ball, so that's a turnover. In defence, Brewster. Good hands in midfield. Conceding ground, this is dangerous because here comes Harvey. But clever footwork by the Irish. Taken by Ryan. Now in front. Good mark taken by Lloyd. So Lloyd will have a shot. Would he go for goal here or just go for the three-pointer?
Interesting is any marks they've got in this area, they're walking back about 30 yards, which make the kick a bit harder. The ball is not that heavy really. And 2 or 3 steps back, he'll be well able to put it over from there.
So Matthew Lloyd with Australia's best chance. And he pops it over for a three-pointer. And that's Australia's first for the game.
So Australia got caught out on the quick kick-off from Finbar. They need to mark up one as a scorer.
Buckley for Australia. He's turned it over a couple of times. But Buckley gets it back from Anthony Stevens. Wellman. Nick Holland playing in front. It's going to be a couple of kicks to goal from here, you'd reckon. Holland goes out wide. Carey caught behind, but good use of the shoulder by Carey. He's out wide, has a look, goes for the over, the three-pointer. It's close and falls over for a three-pointer to the Australian captain. Well, Australia coming back a bit. It's 16-8 now. In the closing minutes of the first quarter, Ireland have had a very strong breeze. This is Anthony Tohill. Plenty of distance on the kick. Crawford got hands to it, couldn't take the mark. Steins has been a real problem for the Australians. Now how will the referee rule that? And it's going to be a free to Ireland right in front. This is Peter Canavan. Now, there's going to be a lot of players between Canavan and the goal line from here, so he'd go for the three-pointer, wouldn't he, John?
He'd go for three-pointers, and I put my money on this one.
Kicking round the corner, using the breeze, it comes back enough for 3 points to Ireland. So it's 19 points to 8 in the last minute of the first quarter. Silvani kicks in, and a second football has just arrived on the park. Buckley playing just the one. Well played, Bucks. Rashudo to Stevens. Holland palming the ball down to Camporelli. Camporelli to Carey, one out with his opponent and beaten pointless by Darren Fay.
Darren Fay, he's a fullback now again. That's his position. He's a very strong defender. He's having a good game today.
Well, he hasn't got the height of Wayne Carey, but he's certainly a solidly built boy, just 22 years of age, and he beat a pretty good player in Wayne Carey on that occasion.
Yeah, that's a good battle today so far. Probably the best individual match of the game so far.
This is John McDermott going down the line and working in a tight space is Tohill, getting the ball back to McGeeney. Kieran McGeeney. And there's the siren for quarter time. Well, the Aussies won the toss and elected to kick into the breeze, and they trail by 11 points at the first break. It is Ireland 19 to Australia 8. And warm applause from the fans here at Croke Park for an exhibition of football that I'm sure pleased them in the first quarter. And there's Brian Steins, the brother of Jim Steins, who was a really dangerous player in that first quarter, and he scored 7 points of Ireland's 19. They lead by 11, 19 points to 8, as we take a break from Croke Park.
Quarter time in the first of the Gaelic internationals, and Ireland having the advantage of the breeze, although it is rather blustery and starting to blow across the ground. 19-8, Australia coming back with 3-pointers from Matthew Lloyd and Wayne Carey as we go back now to Croke Park. The second quarter has just got underway. Here's Drew.
Thank you, Sandy. And Peter Everett has gone into the middle where Wayne Carey took the first hit out to start the game. And Australia with the breeze in this term, and they've moved quickly into attack. But it's going to be a free kick here to Ireland. Now, if Ireland can score into the breeze in this second quarter, the Australians are going to have to really chase hard and come from behind. Buckley steals the ball here. Beautiful play by Nathan Buckley. A high ball. Carey's there, and Everett. Well, that was the plan for the Australians, that Everett perhaps would take a hit out and then move down to the forward line, and Big Spider Dipper has got a chance to get a three-pointer here. Everett, distance about 30 metres, and he gets it over the black dot for 3 points, and back come Australia. Well, it didn't take long with their first use of the breeze for them to get their third three-pointer for the game. Eagleton, good on the turn. Carey charges hard at the ball, and crunch through he goes. The hand pass astray, chopped off in defence by McGeeney. He's buried in a good tackle. The ball spills to Campbell, who hooks it back in front of goal. Wayne Carey. Beautiful mark by the Australian skipper. Now, with this breeze fluky, mostly at his back, but slightly right to left. This is no absolute gimme for Carey, but he'll be looking to put it over the crossbar for 3 points. Score 19-11 in favour of Ireland. Carey makes it. So that's a couple of three-pointers in the opening 2 minutes of the second quarter. Pretty handy for Australia.
Yeah, it's looking good for Australia now, Drew, because Ireland are trying to work the ball out very slowly and getting caught in possession. But here they come now.
Steins crunched by Rasciuto when he'd gone for a bounce. And Brian Steins wants to go on with it with Campbell. And Mark Rasciuto went in very hard there, as I'm promised that he did in a practice match during the week. Steins kicks across the ground. It floated, but it worked out all right to the team's advantage. And this is Moynihan, Seamus Moynihan. Very high, down towards the pocket. Australians let the ball get behind them, but Rowan Smith, this could be a dangerous kick across in front of goal. Smart got a hand to the ball, but Canavan's there for Ireland. Back to Steins, who's been a problem for the Aussies, and he puts it into space, but missed the man he was aiming for, and the ball goes out. An Australian free kick in. Taken by David Neitz. Rasciuto front position. That's very clever play by Nallen. Buckley must have had, well, half the possessions in the game so far. He's dominated. Look at the distance on that. Everett, that's what they want him there for. Ireland haven't got anybody with the height to go with Spider Everett. But the ball comes out to Tohill. He gets the hand pass away. And, well, even Ireland can kick the ball off the side of the boot into the breeze. That was Sean Lockhart. Kick to be taken by Rowan Smith. Australia have come back hard at the start of this second quarter. Ireland lead 19-14. Smith to Rasciuto with plenty of distance. Carey is there. Got hands to it. Had the chance to take the mark. Whipped away by McDermott. Eagleton's played well for Australia. It comes to Farmer. Not much of a factor yet. Everett. And he could have punched that ball through if he could have got it to the behind line, but it was well chopped off by McConnell. Popped over the top, and it's taken by McDermott. John McDermott, back to Steins. Well, Jimmy Steins made a hell of an impact on Australian football, and Brian Steins, apart from a brief period in Australia, has stuck to the Gaelic game, and he's dominating here. He's going really well. This is Lockhart, and once again a kick goes very wide, and Crawford shepherds the ball over the line to make sure it's an Australian kick into play. Buckley comes to Eagleton. You like the way he's played, Nathan Eagleton. Back to Buckley. He's just been irresistible. Kick by Buckley to Farmer. The wizard, Jeffrey Farmer, takes it. Harvey peels past him. Everett on the lead. Harvey goes for distance. Well, I don't think that was the trick. And way offline, he gets some Bronx cheers.
Yeah, way offline there. I think Farmer got a good mark and probably should have taken the chances, because with that wind on the 50-yard line, it's still well within range to goal.
This is John McDermott. And once again, you can see the effect of the breeze, and that is just not really off the side of his boot, but it swung like one of my slices off.
Yeah, it's a fair breeze here, but that's very poor kicking from the Irish. I mean, 3 or 4 balls now over the line, and it's keeping them under pressure.
Scott Camporelli preparing to get into the fray.
It's a good mark there by Sean Marty Lockhart.
So Lockhart, more with a drop punt kicking action, kicking straight through the ball rather than around the corner, and he got it up the ground, gets it back. The hand pass now in the direction of Moynihan, flips the ball on beautifully to McDermott. McDermott with the open fisted hand pass. Don't think you can get away with it now again. Brewster did well, started on the bench, and a good mark to McCabe. Dermot McCabe, the computer programmer, 22 years of age. And he'll kick it around the corner, going for the over, which is 3 points.
Yeah,
well, that is a Barry Crocker, as we say in Australia, John.
I'd say something like brutal here.
He's thrown to the ground, McCabe. And the Australians using a pretty physical brand of football until Nigel Smart gets it and thumps it over halfway. Holland got one glove to the ball but couldn't bring it down. Ireland in possession. Brewster. Helped on by Ryan. Good strong tackle by Buckley. And look at Wellman in there. Ball knocked on by Ireland. Nigel Smart in pursuit. Clash of bodies. The ball was forgotten about. Stein's in a hurry. This is great play. Chance for Canavan. He lines up a three-pointer. Home she goes.
Good score out of Peter Canavan. He's deadly from that range.
Very quickly the ball back into play. Ireland 22-14.
It's terrible shooting drill. I mean, he needs to take his time from there. With that strong wind, at least a point or 3 points is well within range.
The mark taken here by Tohill. Anthony Tohill, some time in Australia, as in fact a couple of the others did in this Ireland team. Niall Buckley and Paul McMenamin also spent time in Australia. Ball comes down to Wellman. He's got Crawford in support. Across the ground he goes. That's good play to Ben Hart. In a bit of space, Johnson. Gee, he's quick. He's been run down from behind by Donnellan, who was very quick because Johnson's not slow. Now Jeff Farmer has it. Gale at his back. He's not attempting the score. Johnson had followed up. He attempts the score. It's there. Everett. They get it over the line for a point.
Drew, the Australians are using the interchange very well here at the moment, especially around the midfield. Already there's been 12 interchanges to Ireland's 3, and Scott Camporelli shoots for goal.
Not a very poor clearance from Finbar McConnell. Get the ball away. Should be 3 points if he kicks it properly.
Camporelli, second leading goal scorer for Carlton this year. He goes for over and gets it over. A good three-pointer. We haven't seen any go in the net today. And in these blustery conditions, I'm not sure that we'll get many goals in the game, but certainly plenty of scoring. Australia just 4 behind at 22-18. Rowan Smith gets back in defence. Support by Crawford. Good kick by Crawford. Holland there with Buckley. He palms it down in the path of Buckley, but it's socket away from him through Buckley's legs actually. Picked off the ground by Brewster, and Ireland working it forward beautifully through Fallon. Back it comes to Cullen. He goes for a bounce. Ireland charging into attack. Smart tackling, but He didn't have the ball. He threw the Irishman to the ground, and it's against Nigel Smart. Free kick will go to Jarlath Fallon from Galway.
Charlotte fella from Galway had a great year when the All-Ireland final with Galway win the championship. This is again, he should put us over the bar for 3 points.
Around the corner he goes with his kick, and that's beautifully done into the breeze. It just got to the line for a behind. So it just shows you how difficult it is to score. There's some construction work going on at the canal end of the ground, and the breeze is coming through there unhindered, making it very difficult to score at the right-hand end. It's 23-18 as Australia come charging back. Camporelli to Buckley. Nathan Buckley. Farmer is there. Everett as well. Hacked out of defence by McConnell. And he doesn't mind that it's in the crowd because it was looking dangerous.
Looking dangerous. Good clearance there by Finbar.
Australia in possession with the free kick into play. Nathan Eagleton. And that's off the side of the boot. Difficult for Farmer. And over the line. And so it'll be Ireland's kick into play. They've taken it quickly. They use a couple of footballs, so you've got to be on the mark. And this is McDermott into attack for Ireland. Crawford marks. Off to Rowan Smith. The kick by Smith. Everett with his height again, but he's underneath this one. And the ball shepherded over the line by Fay. Well, Fay had Carey in the first quarter, and he's got Everett now, and he's been a very good defender for Ireland.
Yeah, Fay's playing very well. Everett and Farmer causing the Irish problems in this quarter. But Fay's still playing well.
Fallon works the ball in.
Into the middle.
Oh, solid tackle by David Neitz. Play on, says referee Coates. Still a chance for Ireland, though. Here's a chance for a goal, and off the post and into the net.
Yeah, good goal there by Dermot McCabe. He missed one in the first quarter, but he's made up now.
So the first goal of the game goes to Dermot McCabe in the second quarter, and Ireland skip back to an 11-point lead. Well, it's one of the differences between the games. In this one, the ball can come off the woodwork, and if it bounces in for a goal, it counts as a goal. Of course, in Australia, that would have counted the lower score.
Yeah, Ireland will probably get a lot more goals in this game, Drew, because that's where they feel they can win it.
Everett wins in the middle and palms to Buckley. He's in a bit of trouble. Balks the hand pass. Through Rasciuto it goes to Camporelli. Straight back to the forward line. Nick Holland there for Australia. It comes off his fist and goes out of bounds. So we've finally seen a goal in the game, and it's come at about the midway point of the second term. There's the Irish bench. Originally, the rules of this competition were 15 starters plus 5 interchange, but we heard about half an hour before the game it was anybody's go. Rafferty's rules. So the interchange for Ireland's about 10.
Good mark by John McDermott. He's drifted back into defence now, obviously playing against the wind.
This is Moynihan. Neitz gets back in defence. Wellman, and Wellman does it very well indeed. Kicked by Wellman in the direction of Rasciuto, who marks, looking to play on, but he's run down from behind. Rasciuto to Everett. Couldn't take the mark. Farmer, this is what he's there for. Good save. And through for a point.
Good save by Farmer McConnell. It's good to see Farmer taking the goal on when he got a chance to go rather than playing back.
Well, I thought that was a situation that would suit Jeff Farmer down to the ground, but he couldn't beat a good save by the goalie. So Ireland over halfway, and good strong use of the body by Foley. And it's going to be a free kick here. That ball thrown by Ireland, and a free kick comes to Nigel Smart. Smart just 2 weeks after playing in a premiership again for the Adelaide Crows. Nick Holland off to Crawford, his Hawthorn teammate. Crawford beats a man and goes for the three-pointer. Not a bad shot, and he gets it. Great play by Shane Crawford. 29-22 in favour of Ireland in the second term. 4 quarters of 20 minutes. The ball in midfield to Foley. He puts it out wide. Lockhart. He's offline with his kick. And you wouldn't think the ball could swing into the breeze, but it did on that occasion. Actually, it was marked by Carey, the Australian captain, having a rest on the bench at the minute. Ball tapped out in defence by Moynihan. back in his direction. Oh, Everett ran through and just missed him. I'm not sure he really lined him up, because he could have done a lot of damage there if he'd wanted to. Comes to Fallon. Oh, that's a magnificent hand pass to put his teammate out in the clear. Chance for Ireland here, but the kick by Foley is smothered. It spills back to Stevens, who ducks a high tackle, back to midfield, and Ireland hold it up. Sean Lockhart.
Already playing well now, Drew, but a couple of missed tackles there is letting the Australians away with the ball.
Here's a bit of space out here for Tohill. He's running it to the Australian defence. He's lining up a three-pointer.
Oh, terrible shot.
Well, I think he lined it up. Missed by 50 metres. Donnellan. And the ball's gone over the line, has it? Free kick to Ireland to be taken by Donnellan. And Wayne Carey back onto the park for Australia. Ireland 2-1, and Smart beaten to the ball by Foley, and here he is right in front with a second to none chance of getting it under the crossbar. But he'll go for the three. An easy three for Ireland. 32-22 in favour of Ireland. Oh, a miss in midfield by Ireland. That was Glenn Ryan. Australia into attack, and a diving mark taken by Lloyd. Haven't seen much of Matthew Lloyd. He has scored 4 of Australia's 22 points. He got a three-pointer for an over in the first quarter, and he'll be looking to repeat the dose here. Matthew Lloyd kicked it all right and has got the three-pointer that he wanted.
Yeah, Drew, some of the Australian kicking is not bad.
Well, I'm pretty impressed with the way they've handled the round ball. That was going to be the biggest problem with the change in coach. Wayne Carey just pulling an opponent off the ball, but it spills Ireland's way. Lockhart up midfield. Smith of Australia. Rowan Smith, but the kick dropping a bit short. He tried to steer that ball rather than let the wind do plenty of work. It comes out to Nallen. James Nallen for Ireland. The ball spills to the back. Here's a chance. Ogdepur for Ireland. He goes for the short kick rather than the score. The hand pass back comes to Donnellan. Round the corner. It's looking good, but swinging away. It's very close, but just a point. The Australians can breathe a sigh of relief there. The kick in quickly, taken by Crawford, who's done plenty of running. Not a great kick off the left. Good handling by Lockhart. Here's a chance for Ireland. The hand pass comes forward, running into goal, McCabe, and he goes for it. Another great save by Silvani. McCabe looking for his second goal for the game. Now Steins has a shot, and he gets it over for 3.
So another great save there by the goalkeeper. He must be getting lessons somewhere, is he?
Well, it's just a part of the game that there's no player in Aussie rules who has that role to play. So Steins has done well. Here's Wayne Carey beating a man on the run and bring it in close. Will he go for 3 or 6? 3 will do him, but he didn't get it. A behind only to Wayne Carey. Here's a chance now, and a shot by Campbell, by Steins. Jimmy Steins on the ground, but he misses, and a point.
Number 11 on the Australian team is Jim Steins, making a welcome return to Croke Park.
And Jimmy Steins just getting a rap from the public address announcer and alerting the fans here at Croke Park that Jimmy Steins is back home and back in town. In fact, at the start of the game, I thought he sang the Australian national anthem, and if I'm not mistaken, I think he was singing the Welsh, the Irish one, the Irish one as well. Chance in attack for Australia once more. Robert Harvey won't get to this one. Comes to Marsden. Ryan. And the short pass goes to Nallen. Pops it over the top to Foley. In fact, Foley was beaten to it by his teammate, Tohill. Well, 2 of our commentators are both on the match committee, and here's Dipper with Gerard Healy.
Yeah, thanks very much, Drew. Well, Gerard, your thoughts in the first half here?
Well, I thought we did well to get back after they started so well, but they've worked pretty hard into the wind also, Dipper, and right at this stage, I think they're probably well and truly on top, and if they kick this one, we're in loads of trouble, but I think...
Still Silvani's been terrific as a goalkeeper.
Outstanding performance. He saved a couple of 6-pointers without question. I think a lot of our guys are just hurrying a little bit. They've
He just rushed him there.
Trying to kick the ball a little bit too long, and we just haven't had that ground level option up forward when the ball's hit the ground.
Back to you, Drew.
Thanks, Dipper. That was a three-pointer to Donnellan. Now, whether he was running in and trying to get it under the crossbar and into the net for 6, I'm not sure, but it just skimmed over the crossbar for the three-pointer. But Australia back into attack now, well read by Carey and handled beautifully to Buckley. Ryan gets back in defence for Ireland. Beautiful play. Playing in a heavy knee brace. His kick a little bit too high for his teammate. Buckley goes for a score, and he is offline and through for 1 point. Well, it's a 12-point lead now to Ireland, 39-27, and there's a bit going on behind the play, and Jim Stein's getting involved. He's just come on the ground, he's kicked a point, and he's starting to use a bit of weight. And there is the siren for half-time. And Ireland did pretty well into the breeze, and the cruncher for Ireland was the goal they scored through Dermot McCabe for the 6-pointer, and they lead by 11 at half-time. It is Ireland 39 to Australia 28.
Half-time at Croke Park, and the home side having a very good second quarter going into the breeze, having just kicked the one goal, that coming from Dermot McCaig, but they lead by 11 points at half-time. Ireland 39, Australia 28. And wasn't it great to see the Irish crowd giving Jim Stynes a warm reception when he finally came off the bench in the second quarter wearing the number 11 Guernsey he's made so famous with Melbourne. And it was fantastic to see the Demons and football here in Australia pay tribute to the great Irish ruckman.
He's done something that no other Australian rules footballer has ever done. Coming into the game after 7 years, playing finals in, #1 competition, and win a Brownlow.
The winner, the 1991 Brownlow medal.
There's the siren, and he's got a kick from 55 metres out. It's 50 metres!
Yes, Jimmy Stynes has been absolutely fantastic, not only for the Melbourne Footy Club, but for the game generally. As Ray Jordan said in that, how many players have come out from another country and done what he's done? He's the only one. We'll take a break. Ireland at half-time, if you've just joined us, lead by 11, 39 to 28.
1, 2, 3, 4!
My home is in Dublin, the truth I will tell. I've travelled the world over high hill and dell. New York, San Francisco, Singapore to Bahrain, Australia's lovely cities, then back home again.
Ireland looking good at half-time, leading by 11, 39 to 28. The Big Dipper is over there, of course, as a boundary rider and as an official with the Australian team. Well, Ireland have their own version of the Dipper. He's the Little Dipper, Marty Morrissey, and he caught up with the Big Dipper at half-time.
I was afraid you were going to call me the Small Dipper when I'm standing beside the Big Dipper here. As everybody knows here, I suppose my job around All-Ireland time is sideline reporter.
Okay.
But in Australia, they call that the Boundary Rider.
The Boundary Rider,
That's going to be a nickname for me for the rest of my day. So explain what the Boundary Rider does in Australia.
Well, basically keeps the people up to date on the moves on the ground, and we do the interview just like yourself, and get the people involved in the game, because obviously everyone back home can see what's happening on TV, but the game is still a people's game, and I like to sort of jump in and get a few interviews by the people. Yeah, so you're now known as the Boundary Rider. I shall christen you the Boundary Rider.
I'd say nobody would refuse you an interview if you decide to jump in amongst them.
Not quite, no, but it's just terrific to be involved in the game, which I played for about 18 years with the Hawthorn Football Club, and now I've been the boundary rider for Channel 7. I do about 107 games a year, and you're just involved with the players all the time. Terrific.
You remember, of course, back in the 80s when you played for Australia against Ireland. I believe that you were involved in a few skirmishes.
Well, just a couple of skirmishes, but look, it's just great to be back here at Croke Park, and it was only 14 odd years ago that we were back here, and geez, Ireland has, Dublin has certainly changed. There's a magnificent new stand here, but it's great to see the people here today, yeah.
I have to ask you about the Dipper. Where does the name the Dipper come from?
Well, if I had to tell you, if I showed you, then you'll know. No, but no, obviously my surname is Di Domenico, and there's a ride, an amusement ride, an amusement park called the Big Dipper. And some of the commentators said, would you like to be on that ride? Yeah, so that's where it come from, Marty.
Well, the Dipper, thank you very much for joining us. Hope you enjoy the rest of the game.
Yes, well done. The Big Dipper and the Little Dipper. Half-time is over. Ireland leads 39-28 going into the second half. Here's Drew.
Thanks, Sandy. And Jim Steins takes the hit out this time for Australia. Down to Buckley, and Matthew Lloyd marks virtually right in front for Australia. And that's a pretty quick transfer of the ball into the breeze. A difficult end to score, even though Ireland seemed to do all right because they levelled Australia in the second quarter. Margin was 11 at quarter time and still 11 at half time, mainly because of the goal they kicked, which was the 6-pointer. But if Lloyd can get a 3-pointer here in the first 30 seconds, Australia will be right back on track. Off the left, looks pretty good, and 3 points to Australia. So that's Matthew Lloyd's third 3-pointer, and he has contributed 10 points now to Australia's tally of 31. It is 39-31 in favour of Ireland. Ireland with the breeze. Crawford caught behind. Tap over by Canavan. Comes back to Canavan, but the hand pass too high for him. Brian Steins. Centering ball. So Jim Steins is on the park at the same time as Brian. Oh, heavy tackling by Crawford. Ireland dispossessed. Hand pass comes back, but the kick by Tohill is smothered. Well done by Brad Johnson. He burst through the middle. Support by Nathan Buckley, who's been superb for Australia. He kicks to himself. It doesn't really come off for him. And not good for the forwards. Eagleton caught behind. Back to centre field. Brian Steins. Jim Steins is in the area. Brian's buried in a tackle by Smart. The whistle's gone from referee Coates. They call them referees here. And Andrew Coates, the AFL Umpire of the Year, has given the free kick to Ireland, taken by Brian Steins. Wellman over the back of his opponent. It comes down to the corner to Canavan. He's working hard with Crawford. Good contest between the two. Crawford takes him off the ball illegally. Free kick to Canavan.
Yeah, Drew,
It's gone to Crawford.
Well, Canavan did very well there. He didn't play the ball, he didn't pick it up and kept it on the ground. I thought it was his free though.
So, the referee ruled that the tackle by Crawford was good. And so he'll take the free kick. Oh, cross in front of goals. This could be dangerous. It was meant for Hart. Surely a goal coming up for Ireland. And through it goes under the legs of a diving Silvani from Donnellan. And Ireland get their second goal.
Yeah, Drew, that was a real giveaway there. Terrible crossfield kick by Crawford. Thank you very much to Michael Donnellan.
Well, that's a real killer for Australia after they'd scored in the opening 30 seconds and started to come back, even despite running into the breeze, and then Ireland get their second goal. So it's 45-31, a 14-point lead to the home side. Ball thrown up in the middle by the police inspector, Michael Curley. Australia have it. Buckley goes off the ground. Lloyd. And the ball out of bounds off an Ireland hand. Australia's ball to be taken by Eagleton. Difficult pocket this. Straight back into the teeth of the breeze. A very high ball. Carey is there. Still a chance for Carey, but Ireland have it. Out of defence, Tohill. And off Ireland. And off Derry Foley. And it'll be Australia's ball. The Irish bench, they've got a lot of them there. Rasciuto, hand pass into Buckley. What can Buckley do with this? He goes for the score, and it bounces over the keeper and gets a point. Hard to get excited about a point because it's pretty high scoring, 45-32, and Australia haven't managed a goal under the crossbar and into the net yet. Short pass, well done there by Tohill. He puts the ball out wide. Jim Stein's a good tackle, and he's dispossessed the Irishman. Oh, Rashuto off the ground. Eagleton takes the mark. Here's a chance for Johnson. He beats one, goes for the goal, but didn't give it enough. And beautifully saved in goal by McConnell.
Yeah, it was a real shot there for Australia. I think he should have got a goal. A good save by Big Finbar.
Comes to Ryan for Ireland. He goes for a long, long kick. Rowan Smith keeps it in. Hart's had a couple of difficult balls lately. Well done by Rashuto to tap back. Now it's all Australia. Crawford with a little bit of time. Nathan Buckley has been absolutely sensational for Australia. Well, Jimmy Steins, when consulted by the selection committee as to who would be a perfect Australian player in this game, Steins nominated Buckley. He gets it again from Smart. Centering kick by Buckley. Carey! Gee, an Irish fish got to the ball just as Carey was about to mark. It comes to Lloyd. Matthew Lloyd beats a man. Goes for the three-pointer off the left, but it's away to the right and through. No, he got it. Over the crossbar for 3. That's 13 points to Matthew Lloyd. Good pressure put on by Smith, but an excellent mark to Ireland, and he's come up hurt after that.
I think it's Jarlath Fallon, is it?
Jarlath Fallon from Galway, and the bench looking to get a chance with their turn at the park. Oh, Eagleton almost, and coming well off his line is Finbar McConnell. 45-35, a 10-point margin in favour of Ireland. Ireland with the breeze in this third quarter. Long kick. It's up for grabs. It comes out to Rowan Smith, who's got a bit of space. Back he goes to Ben Hart. Rashuto beaten for it. Grabbed by Brewster. Chance now for Fallon. He hoists it high. Silvani's back on his line. It gets almost over him. But Silvani has saved a couple of almost certain goals for Ireland. Crawford in trouble here. Taken away by Steins. And Crawford held when not in possession and will take the free. 10-point margin in favour of Ireland. Hope you're enjoying it on the 7 network in Australia. Crawford's kick not too good and gets away with the breeze and out of bounds near halfway. To be taken by Tohill. Anthony Tohill down towards the pocket, and a chance for Ireland to set up an attack here from deep in the left pocket. And this is Dermot McCabe, who scored the first goal of the match in the second quarter. McCabe goes for a three-pointer. It's high. It's not bad, but just offline for a point. Dipper, I talked about the selectors being consulted when Nathan Buckley was nominated by Jim Steins as potentially the best. Bucks has been pretty good.
He's been fantastic, Drew, especially years ago, once again through the middle. His work rate is terrific.
And it's Buckley who gets it this time to Rowan Smith. Straight up the ground. Carey this time takes the mark. He might have gone on with it, but decided to go back.
And Drew's also got a very powerful kick on him. He can kick one of these balls maybe 45, 50 metres with some sort of accuracy.
Wayne Carey, bit of time on the bench in the second quarter. And the Australian captain lining up to put it over the black dot for 3 points. He goes for the over and gets it. So Australia coming back a little bit here. It's 46-38, the margin just 8 points. They trail by 11 at quarter time and 11 at half time. So Australia actually outscoring Ireland into the breeze this quarter. Great mark, Jimmy Steins. Well, the man is a legend in Australia and in Ireland. Unusual for a player to have retired and be playing another game about a week later. That's the story for Jimmy Steins. Smart on the forward line, beats a couple. Kick beautifully smothered by Ryan. Gets the hand pass to Tohill. Australia putting on good pressure on the forward line. Ireland needing to be good. Moynihan gets the hand pass away. Brewster crunched by Rashuto. Marked by Jimmy Steins. A high floating hand pass to Buckley. He had to get rid of it quickly. Taken by Tohill. Up the ground to Brian Steins. He puts it out in front of Lockhart. Great run by Ireland. Lockhart goes out wide to Brewster. He looks for a three-pointer. Over the crossbar. Not quite. He missed it to the right for a point. So 47-38, a 9-point lead to Ireland. Australia will come home with the breeze. They were the tactics when Wayne Carey won the toss and elected to kick into the breeze in the first quarter. And Dipper, it might work out all right if you're only about 10 down at the last change.
That's what Lee said at half-time. Just get yourself in a winning position at three-quarter time, and so far it's pretty good because, as we know, it's a very strong breeze.
Buckley and Smart sharing the ball. Well, we haven't got stats on this game, but if Nathan Buckley hasn't had 50 touches, I'd be amazed. Goes for as long as he can. Carey gets to the back. The crumbs come Camporelli's way. It's slapped out to Eagleton. Great hand pass. Robert Harvey. Will Australia get a goal? Oh, beautifully saved by McConnell. And off the ground, Carey. But the whistle's gone. The goal won't count to Carey.
Yeah, Joe, it was a great save by Finbar McConnell. Certain goal save there. Ireland on the break now.
Yes, Ireland bringing the ball back. Brewster's been good, having started the game on the bench. Oh, top mark taken by Ben Hart. Across to Buckley. Look out, you're in trouble. Gets his kick away. Along the ground to Camporelli. He's taken off it. Socket forward by Smith. Carey outnumbered. Comes to the front. Steins overruns. Well done by the captain. McDermott in hard, but Australia's captain, Carey, gets it out. Off the ground goes Steins. They're working it forward, Australia. And Wayne Carey's down and taking a long time to get up. In fact, the two captains, both number 18, were a bit slow to get up after that physical clash. There's the goalkeeper, Finbar McConnell. Magnificent save. Robert Harvey going in. He was looking for the six-pointer, and, well, McConnell got everything behind it. So we've seen some top saves at both ends by Silvani and McConnell. Here's a bit of a fumble. Campbell coming in to put on the pressure, but Ireland steady. He's recovered well, McDermott. Back over halfway. Hart gets back. Crumbs come to Fallon. Fallon's hand pass in to Foley. Foley goes for three, but he sprays it wide, misses to the left. A point to Derry Foley, the 31-year-old farmer from Tipperary. Here's Nathan Buckley, professional footballer from Collingwood. He's given it up, well smothered by Ryan. Ryan gets a hand pass to Donnellan. Donnellan floats a hand pass. Great chance for Ireland, but a little bit too high for Canavan. That looked a great chance.
It was a great chance for Ireland because Buckley got the ball away. Ireland should have got something out of that.
Silvani kicks in. He hasn't given them enough to get it to Hart. Chopped off by Ryan, who barrels it back offline. Silvani saves. 48-38. Ireland lead by 10 in the third quarter here at Croke Park in Dublin. Action coming to you live around Australia on the 7 network. And it's great to be back here as test matches between the two countries. This is the first time they've been official test matches, and they'll have home and away series over the next 4 years, which will be something really to look forward to.
And Drew is sitting next to one of the dirtiest players, John O'Leary. Back in 86, geez, I tell you.
He told me you were the dirtiest.
Who do you believe?
Thanks very much, Deborah.
Here's Robert Harvey now for Australia.
Glad that Deborah's in semis today.
Oh, the defensive kick a little bit off the side of the boot. Brewster copped a solid knock but got it away to Cullen. A bit going on behind the play. Well gathered by Hart. The hand pass to Smart, the two Adelaide defenders combining. Floated to Campbell, wide to Jimmy Steins. You are a legend, Jim. On the bounce to Holland. Nick Holland turns, going goalwards, long over the head of Carey. Punched away in defence by McConnell. Kept in the field of play. And well done by Moynihan. Run out of defence by Nallen. James Nallen from Mayo, County Mayo. Marked in midfield by David Neitz. Across the ground he goes. Smith to Campbell. Good tackle put on Wayne Campbell. Smith tries to go off the ground. Into Buckley. Nathan Buckley, superb. Puts it high for Holland. One-on-one. Well, Nallen got a hand to it. Good recovery by Holland. He punches. Eagleton got a toe to it, but socket out of defence by Lockhart. Ryan did beautifully to get it back to his teammate. Brewster. McCabe.
McCabe.
The two redheads. McCabe's kick didn't carry. Taken away by Wellman. Back to Neitz. Harvey drops a mark he might have taken, but he's got space. Robert Harvey, the Rolls-Royce of Australian football. Drops short of Carey. Kicks not carrying into the breeze. And the defensive mark taken by Moynihan. Up the ground, Cullen pops it over the top. Good chase by Camporelli. Hand pass by Brewster. Cullen back to Brewster. And he's way offline with this one. Stephen Silvani, one of Australia's best. He has conceded a couple of goals, neither of them his fault. Neats. Ryan. Are you close enough at this stage? Lee Matthews looking on, looking a little bit worried. Dipper, do you reckon you're close enough at this stage?
I think we are, Drew, because as we said, the strong breeze. The boys are playing quite well here at the moment.
Brian Steins with a centering kick. Oh, that is a mark and a half. Magnificent. By McCabe, who scored the goal, the first goal of the game.
He's been a bit quiet this quarter. We've got to catch 2 great marks there down the row.
And you can take the ball back to the 13-metre line if you're at too tight an angle. And that's what he's done to get himself a 3-pointer. So he's scored a 6-pointer and 2 overs, 2 3-pointers. Ireland 51-38. The margin now 13 points. Just under 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Australia have to weather these last 5 minutes, the last 5 minutes of wind-assisted time for Ireland, and see if Australia can come home. Now, Dippers along the boundary line and has chairman of selectors, Gerard Healy.
Yeah, thanks, Drew. I think we're close enough here at the three-quarter time. The boys done quite well this quarter.
Yeah, another good performance into the wind. The only difference between the two sides, I guess, at the moment is the Ireland's capabilities with the 6-pointers and our inability to convert them, Dipper. But we've just held our ground. If we can go in at three-quarter time, just within, say, 12, 13, 14 points, I think we're still a chance. But obviously our boys are struggling a little bit to come to terms with the round ball, but full credit to the opposition.
Thanks, Gerard. Here's good play by Ogdepur. How did I go with the pronunciation? Here's a shot for an over from deep out on the right-hand side, and over it goes for 3.
Good 3-pointer from Jerry Fowler. You did okay there, Sean Ogdepur. Your Irish isn't bad.
And that was kicked by Foley. Here's Silvani. Went for a dropping. And with the breeze, out of bounds. So 54-38, and the margin's now out to 16 points, the biggest margin in the game in favour of Ireland. So really the difference has been the 2 goals.
Yeah, Joe, I think Ireland are getting back on top here now, and then after weather the storm in the first 10 minutes of the third quarter. Picked up a couple of good scores lately.
Here's the Tipperary farmer.
I think that was a shot, Drew.
Hey?
I think that was a shot.
Now, well, in Australia, if a bloke has a shot and it goes way offline like that, we then call it a pass. We give him the benefit of the doubt. Steins' skills with foot, absolutely sensational to find Camporelli, who goes for a solo, and that's running and kicking the ball back to himself. Holland goes off the ground, and the mark claimed and paid to Brad Johnson. Johnson back on halfway. The crowd really enjoying this. The crowd over 20,000. They seem to have got here even after the start, and it's built up since the start of the game. Well played by Campbell, back to Johnson. He tried one with the outside of his foot, but a brilliant smother on that occasion by Seamus Moynihan. From County Kerry, number 17, Seamus Moynihan. It'll be Australia's ball, but it was a great smother. Campbell in short, Holland. Well, it might have bobbled out, but the mark is paid to Nick Holland.
I think he's a bit lucky there, Drew.
You think it touched the turf?
I think he spilled that ball.
I think it did too. Came up for air anyway.
Yeah, I think Australia got about another 6 or 9 points to really make a good go now in the third quarter, in the final quarter. They've drifted out a bit.
Too far out to go for the goal, but he'll be looking for the over. Oh, a poster, it's still in play. The ball is live. Smart is there. Desperate defence by Ireland. Lockhart clears the area and happy to concede a sideline ball to Australia. And actually, I'm not so sure that wouldn't be a good thing in Australian football. If the ball hits the post and comes back into play, keep it alive, and let's see what can happen from there.
Australia could have got a goal there, or nothing almost, if it fallen back into Smart's hands.
So Wayne Carey went the short pass, and this is now Wayne Campbell. Campbell looking to set up. Minute and a quarter remaining in the third quarter. Margin 16 points. If Australia can get a couple of overs, a couple more three-pointers just before three-quarter time, it'll be handy. Campbell goes for the first. Farmer. So from an angle like that, he's allowed to bring the ball back to the 13-metre line and have a shot. Whereas in Australia, if he'd marked there, he'd have been somewhere out in the grandstand having a shot for goal. This should be a three for Australia. And over it goes, right over the black dot.
Yeah, that's a good score for Australia and a good mark there by Farmer on the goal line.
If Australia can get one more, they can be right back in this at three-quarter time. They've turned the ball over at half forward. Anthony Stevens to Nigel Smart, who spins out of trouble, hooks it back. A mark here for Australia, vital. Carey is there. A scramble. And how's the referee going to see this? Oh, temper's becoming a little frayed, and the crowd pretty happy to see it.
Yeah, I'm sure the police superintendent sorted it out.
So, whose ball is this going to be out of this? Or will the ref throw it up?
He's going to throw it up, I think, Drew.
Righto. Well, if Australia can get it, it'll be vital. 20 seconds remaining, 22 remaining in the third quarter. If Australia can get possession and a score, they might be close enough at the last change. The ball out, and it's an Irish ball. 12 seconds left, 13 the margin, 54-41 in favour of Ireland. And that ball hardly got back into play. Carey kept it in to Campbell. Farmer is there. Oh, the siren beats Australia as they go into attack. And there's a bit going on here too between Farmer and Lockout. And they're coming from everywhere, right on three-quarter time. Well, this series in the past has produced a few of these, and there's a bit going on here. Oh boy, this is developing.
Feels like a bit of settling down, Drew.
I want to see where Dipper is. Oh no, he didn't get into it.
Yeah, he looks okay on the sideline there.
Well, in Australia it often happens, but there's a bit of pushing and shoving and huffing and puffing, but I think there was a bit more of that than that in there.
Finbar McConnell, the goalkeeper, needs a new jersey.
Yes. McConnell's had his jumper just about ripped off him. Now the referee is pointing to the grandstand, and it looks as though Coates is having something to say, and maybe McConnell is going into the book.
Well, it would be interesting, Drew, if he's put off, because I don't have a natural goalkeeper on the panel apart from Finbar McConnell.
Well, it's interesting. Players can be sent from the field, but another form of discipline is to be reported and go in the book, and a second offence will get you off, like in soccer. Well, right here at three-quarter time, this game has come to life, and the crowd roaring as at the last change. It is Ireland 54, Australia 41.
Three-quarter time at Croke Park, things warming up, but Australia unable to bridge that half-time gap. It was 11 points the difference at half-time. Ireland stretched it, but only marginally, to 13 at three-quarter time. And with Australia coming home with the aid of the breeze, or those blowing slightly across the ground, they're in with a great chance. Things did warm up, didn't they, at the end of that third quarter, as an all-in brawl virtually erupted, and perhaps the major highlight of it all was who made the Guernseys, because they're not very strong. Jeffrey Farmer was receiving some attention, but then in they came, and he had plenty of assistance. Not too much in that, really. Wayne Carey's Andrew Coates, and Nathan Buckley's picked up a ton of possessions as well, in picture wearing number 5. Set to go, Drew. This should be a very, very interesting final quarter.
Well, the two captains here, Sandy, the two number 18s, they're going for the tip-off to start the last quarter, and have a look at them go at each other. The heat generated in that three-quarter time melee could really set this game up in the last quarter. Ireland take possession, the crowd roaring, but Australia now have it. Rasciuto. It comes to Wayne Carey. Now, the deficit is 13 points. Australia with the breeze, but it is a fluky sort of a breeze. And they've trailed at every change, but they'll have to come home like a train to win this game. But it certainly has set it up. Ireland out of defence. The hand pass by Fay. Ball flipped back. Round the corner it goes, and Nallen takes the mark. Ireland might want to hold this ball up and frustrate the Australians in the last quarter. but it's certainly not a match-winning lead as yet. The ball palmed down to the... He puts it out wide. Good play. Foley. Foley's kicked down towards the pocket. Chance here for McCabe. He's taken out of it, and he'll get the free.
Yeah, Darren McCabe's causing problems up front now the last, this quarter and the last quarter.
Free against Sean Wellman. McCabe comes in short. On the bounce it comes to Fallon. Fallon centres, and right in front Canavan. Well, you warned me to look out for this fella. He doesn't look much to us, but by gee, he's very dangerous around goals.
Yeah, true. Peter Canavan, one of the best footballers in Ireland the last sort of 5-6 years. I'd be surprised now if he doesn't take this over for 3 points.
27-year-old teacher goes for the three and gets it right over the black dot. So Ireland score first and into the breeze. Well, Australia scored first into the breeze in the third quarter. Steins gets the hand pass back to Ryan. Ryan's kick slews off the side of the boot across the ground. He might have meant it because he's found a teammate in plenty of space. Jarlath Fallon, number 19. He goes long, 2 against 2. Wellman lost sight of it. Now he gets a chance, but once again a chance for Ireland. Attempted soccer kick by Devaney. Here he is again, comes back. Here's a shot, blocked. And a three-pointer. Terrific kick by Steins. That's Brian Steins. Just what Jim Steins of Australia didn't need at that stage. Camporelli. Well, it's out to 60-41, a 19-point margin in favour of Ireland, the biggest break in the game. Ryan gets back there. Then Ryan, slung to the ground by Farmer, which you can't do in this game, and the ball's got to come back to Ryan. And Andrew Coates explaining to Jeff Farmer, he may be able to get away with that at the MCG, but not at Croke Park. And Ryan, with his team leading by 19, is taking good time about having his kick. Now who's the goalkeeper?
That's still Fermer McConnell with a new jersey on.
Yeah, so his jersey was ripped off him in that three-quarter time melee. Here's Rowan Smith for Australia. Clever. Eagleton got underneath the ball. The carry with the breeze fooled him there.
Yeah, some of the Australians getting in trouble with the flight of the ball, you know, was playing with the wind. The ball carries a bit further than you might think.
Taken by McMenamin. Here's a chance for Ireland. The short pass comes up to McCabe. He flips it back to Canavan. Canavan's offline with his shot and fails to score.
That doesn't happen too often with Peter Canavan, Drew.
Check the corks in the crowd. The old Aussie hat. There's a few Australians living in Dublin have come to this game. And a lot of familiar faces that have come from Australia for this. And some have come after the game in London yesterday between St Kilda and the Western Bulldogs. They've come across. There's the Australian bench. And Gerard Healy, the chairman of selectors, sitting alongside Lee Matthews. Spider Everett at the moment on the bench. And Wayne Carey took the tip off to start this quarter for Australia. Ball socket away from Brian Steins and out. And it'll be Australia's kick in to be taken by Brad Johnson, who didn't play for the Bulldogs in London yesterday, and he's representing Australia proudly today in Dublin. Midfield for Ireland. Marsden puts the ball out wide. Oh, great play by McCabe to get rid of his opponent, but the ball just got over the line, and it'll be Australia's ball.
Yeah, I think Australia got to assume about Martin McCabe. He's done a lot of problems.
Robert Harvey now clears halfway. Neats on the forward line. He started the game in defence for Australia. And
it's an Australian ball.
So Dipper, they've definitely swung the changes in the Australian side, with Nita going from one end to the other.
Yeah, they're just trying to find a balance here, but Lee was quite confident three-quarter time. They just told the players not to panic with the ball, because sometimes when a man does, all they want to do is kick the ball long, and with the breeze you can't do that.
Well, Buckley has certainly kicked this one long. Carey can't take the mark. Neats went after it, but Ryan chipped in for Ireland and took it away. Foley comes out wide. Moynihan Ireland working it brilliantly. They've learned hand passing from the Australians, although on that occasion the hand pass by Nallen went astray. Australia have the ball. It's quickly taken by Johnson. He puts it up to David Neitz. Good mark. Jimmy Stein's back on for Australia, and he's in the same part of the ground as his brother Brian, and that could be interesting if there's a Steins versus Steins matchup. Neitz for Australia, and he got the 3. Important score for Australia, but the margin is now 17 points. It's 16 points, 60 to 44. Steins can't mark. He's bowled over by brother Brian. And umpire, referee Coates comes in and is going to throw this ball up. So Steins versus Steins. Well, in actual fact, it was McDermott who went against Jimmy Steins. Taken away by Rashudo with strength. The hand pass to Buckley. What a game Nathan Buckley has played. Back to Rashudo. Kick by Rashudo with the breeze. Carey sets himself. Can't take the mark. He hasn't marked the round ball brilliantly. Eagleton! A goal! First goal for Australia, Nathan Eagleton.
It could be important now, Drew. Australia go chase the game in the last quarter. Ireland turned that ball over with a very bad hand pass out of defence. I just can't remember who it was.
Terrific play here by Eagleton. Strong tackle by Farmer, set it up, and Eagleton got it into the net off the crossbar.
Yeah, Sean O'Dwyer get the ball away under pressure. It was good tackling by Australia.
Well, that'll give Australia great confidence. The margin now back to 10 points. And the 6-pointer has really put Australia back in business. Jim Steins in the middle is beaten in the head. I don't think Australia's lost any of those so far. That might be one against them. It comes Ireland's way to Donnellan. Oh, well met by Rowan Smith. The Australians, I'm sure, will be lifted by Eagleton's goal. Long kick. Carey caught behind. Ryan did well to get it down for a teammate. The hand pass up to O'Dwyer. It comes in here to Tohill. Crunched in a good tackle. And the free kick to Nathan Buckley, who has been a superb player for Australia. Dipper, is he best by a mile?
Absolutely today. He's had telecontrol in the middle of the ground, and also just his ball skills around the ground been fantastic.
Wayne Carey at last marks overhead. Now, if he can pop through a lazy 3 here, the margin will be 7 with 11.5 minutes to play. And 3's all he'll be aiming for. Breeze at his back and across him. Wayne Carey from right in front. He's got it. Oh boy, is this a game.
It's a good game now, Drew. Well, 11 minutes to go. The crowd needs to get the lift of the Irish team.
That's 4 overs to Wayne Carey. 4 lots of 3. 60 plays 53. And Australia, who looked in a pretty hopeless position not long ago, are right back in this after the goal by Eagleton. Midfield, Anthony Stevens, a big pack of players. It comes to McDermott. His hand pass goes wide. Now Foley for Ireland. It's intercepted here for Australia. The hand pass. Eagleton's got it. He goes for a 3, but he's offline with this one. And it's a point for Australia. So it's 6 points the difference. A goal behind. Goals are rare in this game, though. Ireland have kicked 2 today and Australia 1. 60 to 54. McMenamin from County Mayo. And taking his time. I think there's too much time left on the clock to be sort of protecting a lead of 6 points at this stage. What do you think, Jack?
He is true. He's in the wrong end of the ground to be doing it as well.
Brian Steins did very well. The hand pass. Crawford came to meet the ball, but let it get behind him. Canavan for Ireland gets the hand pass away to Foley. Foley helps the ball on. Good tackling by Australia. They dispossessed them in the last line, and Crawford clears.
Yeah, great tackling by Australia there, Drew. A goal looks certain.
Canavan again has it. He doesn't go for the score. It's a poor old kick. It's taken by Australia and whipped away by Brad Johnson. Australia lifting now. Johnson going a solo run. Brilliant play. Off to Buckley. Too hard for Rashudo. Eagleton. His handball is blocked. It comes back his way. Buckley again. If this gets for 3, it'll be handy. But it's stopped on the behind line. McConnell. Make sure there's no score. Oh, that swings away with the breeze. Over Rashudo it goes. Taken by Tohill. The hand pass in. Cullen. Carey. Rashudo. They've cornered them back there, but there's enough green shirts. Eventually Ryan. Canavan. This is great to watch. Fantastic football here at Croke Park. What a tackle by Crawford. Scooped off the deck by Brewster. Wellman for Australia. Straight ahead defence. Eagleton, the only goal scorer in the game for Australia, applies a good tackle. This game is up for grabs. 6 points the difference. With just under 9 minutes left. What a punch down by Rowan Smith. It comes to Nathan Buckley. Buckley up short on the half volley to Camporelli. The goalkeeper's come off his line. Could be in trouble. Camporelli over his shoulder. Neat's the only hope for Australia. Can he keep it in? No, he can't. Well, actually, McConnell took a chance and he was about 40 metres off his line, but Australia couldn't capture it.
He did take a chance, yeah, and they covered him well on the goal line. There's a pass there to Brian Steins. We call it a Hail Mary pass. Australia really putting the press on here now. Last two attacks are on ahead. They wasted the ball very badly.
At the last change, Australia trailed by 13. Margin got out to about 20, but now it's 6 points. Popped over the top by Tohill. Oh, what a tackle by Anthony Stevens. And it's Australia's ball, quickly taken by Wellman. Steins in there. Rashudo makes a contest. He keeps the ball in. Well played, Mark Rashudo. Steins clever. Here's a class act. The hand pass comes back to Buckley. Buckley long. Neitz is there. Carey's there as well. But saved on the line by McConnell. Ireland running it out of defence. This game has got plenty to it. Terrific hand pass by Tohill. Out in a bit of space. Off Kapur. A 25-metre hand pass. Forward for Ireland. Socket forward. But in defence, Rowan Smith gets back there for Australia. It's actually going to be an Irish ball here. It's coming back. An Irish free kick for an over-the-shoulder. So rules the police inspector.
Yeah, that looked a bit of a soft free to give away. I don't know if you noticed the last attack there, Joe. Peter Canavan collected the ball back in the Irish defence, and he's a forward. He's only making his way back up front now. It shows how hard he's working.
Well, he has covered the park. So Brian Steins will put a bit of a nail in Australia's coffin here. 7 minutes left. Ireland lead by 6 points. Steins goes for 3 more. But he's offline, I fear. And it's a point only. Australia breathe a sigh of relief. 61-54. I wonder who Mr. Steins is supporting today with sons on opposing sides. Wellman, a good hand pass to Rashudo. Rashudo just kicked blindly. Not too much there for Australia, although Hart went hard at it. Applied a good tackle. Camporelli keeps the ball in. Well played, Scott Camporelli. Chance now for Australia. Johnson centres the ball for Carey. He made a contest of it, but brilliant play there by Cullen, who went where angels fear to tread. And referee Coates comes in and is going to throw this in the air.
Yeah, the tackling in this last quarter has been great, isn't it?
Oh, well, the attack from both sides and the tackling, it's just had everything. The running and the open play, and it's great to marriage these two games together. Gaelic football and Aussie rules so close together, and I think the mix of the two rules here today has been a huge success.
Yeah,
ball out of play, Australia's ball. Taken quickly by Rashudo. Neatz. Jimmy Steins is there for Australia. Campbell! Just offline and didn't have the distance. And McConnell for Ireland.
Yeah, it's a good work by McConnell.
5.5 minutes left.
Yeah, interesting that line ball in our game. With that line ball, we would have gone for the score.
What do you think, Dipper?
I think the boys are still in this, but they don't need to panic at this stage. They've just got to keep control of the ball.
Oh, Buckley, brilliant. But then dispossessed. Stevens comes backwards with a hand pass. Rashudo in a bit of space. Crowd don't like him too much. Mark Rashudo goes to Hart. Neitz with a run at them. Good mark. David Neitz has been all right since he went down there, Dipper.
He's been fantastic. Obviously, he has played centre-half forward and centre-half back, but he's just a terrific play. And let's see how he goes here, Drew.
7 the difference. He goes for 3.
Just missed.
Away to the left-hand side. The other ball comes back into play and Ireland quickly work it forward. Close to the sideline, a bouncing ball. That's terrific hands, but what a strong tackle by Wellman. But it's going to be Ireland's free kick. Oops. And in this game, it's a 13-metre penalty, and it's been moved forward the 13 metres after the ball was thrown in the aggressive fashion back to Dermot McCabe. And now he has the free. The computer programmer. McCabe off the left. Ball swinging about in the breeze. Silvani went the punch. Still Ireland a chance. And a sensational tackle by Campbell. And they've won the ball for Australia. Quick hand pass. Comes up to Buckley. 61-55. 6 the difference. Under 4 minutes left here at Croke Park. McDermott couldn't take the mark. It comes to Ryan of Ireland. Good half volley pick up there by Brewster. But his hand pass is blocked. Rasciuto's got it. Well played, Mark Rasciuto. Back to Buckley. Well, Nathan Buckley has just been superb. What a kick to Carey. He's got Jimmy Steins. Couldn't be in better hands than Jimmy's. Neitz is there and punches it through. A goal for Australia.
Yeah, great goal for Australia. Lovely ball in from Jim Steins.
Scores level here at Croke Park with 3.5 to go.
Yeah, Ireland really caught nothing there. I think you look back on that side, Fairmont McCollum be disappointed to be beaten with the ball on the goal line.
This is where the crowd will get into it now, Drew. They're trying to spur the Irish players on.
So we're back in the middle now. 61 points apiece. Less than 3 minutes to go. Australia can pinch this yet. Neitz has been terrific on the forward line. Fancy him punching that goal through. Carey applying the tackle. Ball close to out of bounds. It bounces up here for Tohill. Great play. The crowd rises. The crowd of over 20,000 at Croke Park. Rasciuto was tough in the clinches then. Straight through. Cleared a path for Crawford. His kick off the side of the boot. And a defensive mark is taken by the skipper, John McDermott. Boy, what a game.
What a game. Really livening up now in the last, 3 minutes, 2 minutes to go.
Rasciuto takes possession. Draws a couple to him. Gives it to Hart. The kick by Ben Hart. Neitz. It comes down to the front of the pack. Camporelli for Australia. He's got Harvey in support. Camporelli goes for over. He's missed it, but a point puts Australia in front. Australia leads 62-61. Less than 2 minutes left.
Yeah, they're only going to work the ball up the field and be patient here.
Ireland now, for the first time in the game, really needing a score. They've led all day, but Australia have reeled them in. Bouncing ball gathered by Jimmy Steins. Anthony Stevens for Australia. Australia was, Stevens off the side of the boot. Missed everything by a mile.
You see shots of that in every game as well, Drew, sometimes. But Ireland are kicking the ball long and giving it away. 50-50 possession.
Dippers down there with Jared. How are the fingernails?
How you feeling about it at the moment? It's coming in the wire, isn't it?
As they always have, great, fantastic contest, and we're just hoping we can pull it back, and we're 1 point in front. We just need to hold possession of the ball, make control, pick the right options, and get over the line. We've got 57 seconds.
Fantastic,
it's been a great move. The coach has come up with it. Neitz has responded.
So David Neitz, who started in defence, has been absolutely sensational in this last quarter. He punched a goal through for Australia, and earlier he kicked an over for a 3-pointer and a 6-pointer. 39 seconds left. Oh, what a mark! Magnificent mark by Brian Steins.
Yeah, great mark by Steins. Only 50 seconds on the clock. Trouble is now the clock's probably going to run out.
Well, the clock has stopped while Brian Steins is down hurt, and I'm not surprised. What a mark he took. Jimmy's younger brother, and he doesn't look too good. He's been a fantastic player for Ireland.
Yeah, Brian played really well.
The clock has stopped with 30 seconds remaining. Australia 62, Ireland 61. And Brian Steins, unfortunately, is going to be carried off and won't see the end of the game. But he's been fantastic for Ireland. And wouldn't it be a shame if that's a serious one and he can't play in the second test back here at Croke Park next Sunday. Listen to the crowd rising now for the Irishman. Their last ditch. The clock starts again. McConnell takes the kick on the forward line for Ireland. Rashudo misses with an attempted punch. Hart for Australia, wide to Buckley. He's my best on ground, Nathan Buckley. On the bounce to Robert Harvey. Round the corner to Carey. 14 seconds left, and the captain slows things down with Australia up by a point. A fairy tale to this game here at Croke Park, but he's given it up to the opposition. It's at the wrong end for Ireland. They're going to run out of time. McConnell fumbles. Siren! Australia have won it by a point. They've come from nowhere. 20 down in the last quarter, and they got up to win by a point.
Yeah, great win, Drew. You remember we talked about that point that Fimmer McConnell let bounce over his head back in the second quarter. I think he said it's not that important. Look at the score now.
Fantastic scenes here. The Australians delighted with their performance, and there must be a lot of Aussies in the crowd. They're out there with the Australian flag and surrounding the team. Dipper's in amongst them. I don't know whether he's in there for the interview or whether he's going in to celebrate. And Ireland led all day. They led at every change and were run down with minutes to go. And the switch of David Neitz to the forward line was a clincher for Australia, because the one that he punched through for a goal won the game.
Yeah, he punched through for the goal to win the game. Yeah, so Ireland will be very, very disappointed. If we look at the scores there, it's 2-13-11 to 2-13-10. One score, one shot in the difference. I think Ireland just defended too much in the last quarter.
Well, that was absolutely fantastic. We hope you've enjoyed the action, but there's more to come from Croke Park. We'll go into the rooms and get interviews, but just repeating the final score. Australia 62, Ireland 61.
Well, despite the tricky winds, Australia has got up in an absolute thriller at Croke Park, down at one stage by some 20 points, but then the Australians came home with a wet sail, and one of the turning points, the Jeff Farmer tackle that allowed the ball to spill free to Eagleton, and he was able to goal, and Australia kicking 2 goals and eventually winning by 1 point, 62-61 in what has turned out to be a wonderful game of international rules football. Let's have a look at some of the highlights now of that final quarter.
Comes in short. On the bounce it comes to Fallon. Fallon centres, and right in front, Canavan.
I'd be surprised that he takes over for 3 points.
27-year-old teacher goes for the 3 and gets it right over the black dot. So Ireland score first and into the breeze. Number 19. He goes long, 2 against 2. Wellman lost sight of it. Now he gets a chance. But once again, a chance for Ireland. Attempted soccer kick by Devaney. There he is again. Comes back. Here's a shot. Blocked. And a 3-pointer. Terrific kick by Steins. Ireland working it brilliantly. They've learned hand passing from the Australians, although on that occasion the hand pass by Nallen went astray. Australia have the ball. It's quickly taken by Johnson. He puts it up to David Neitz. Good mark. And that could be interesting if there's a Steins versus Steins matchup. Neitz for Australia. And he got the 3. Kick by Rashudo with the breeze. Carey sets himself. Can't take the mark. He hasn't marked the round ball brilliantly. Eagleton! A goal! First goal for Australia, Nathan Eagleton, who has been a superb player for Australia. Dipper, is he our best by a mile?
Absolutely today. He's had total control in the middle of the ground, and also just his ball skills around the ground been fantastic.
Wayne Carey at last marks overhead. Wayne Carey from right in front. He's got it. Oh boy, is this a game.
It's a good game now, Drew.
Back to Buckley. Oh, Nathan Buckley has just been superb. What a kick to Carey. He's got Jimmy Steins. Couldn't be in better hands than Jimmy's. Neitz is there and punches it through. A goal for Australia.
Yeah, great goal for Australia, Drew. Lovely ball in from Jim Steins.
Scores level here at Croke Park. The kick by Ben Hart. Neats. It comes down to the front of the pack. Camporelli for Australia. He's got Harvey in support. Camporelli goes for over. He's missed it, but a point puts Australia in front. It's at the wrong end for Ireland. They're going to run out of time. McConnell fumbles. Soren! Australia have won it by a point. They've come from nowhere. 20 down in the last quarter, and they got up to win by a point.
Yes, an amazing comeback by the Australian side, and well done. David Neitz certainly turning the tide up in the forward line along with Eagleton and Farmer in that final term. Sensational game too from Nathan Buckley. Jimmy Steins too having a run. It wasn't all that long ago that Jimmy announced his retirement at Melbourne's Club Championship night.
And when I turned 18, Melbourne came over and gave me an opportunity that I suppose at the time I didn't see it like that. I sort of saw it as an opportunity to travel the world and get an education, and I knew it was going to be for free, so that was a bit of a bonus. Didn't have dreams of winning Brownlows or best and fairest or playing 50 games or 200 games or anything like that, because it wasn't what I was brought up with. But then as I started playing the game, I learned the opportunity and the experience and the privilege that I actually got. And I started to realise that I was recruited by a very special... I was recruited by a very special football club, and over the years I've had the privilege of playing with some great players and great people, and from fellas like Chris Connolly and Adrian Battison, the guys who I bumped into first when I came over, to guys like Gary and Ingo and Phoebes and Toddy and Blaine and all the rest who are still playing now. I've had 14 really good years, and I've had to make a decision, and the last week has been really, really tough. I spoke with the match committee, and basically for me to play on, I'm a very ambitious person, and I'm someone who needs... I'm someone who needs to be sort of fulfilling his potential all the time, and I enjoyed the role this year. It was good to be involved with a team that was so successful and with a lot of young players coming up and really playing to their potential. But now it's time for me to move on and do other things. I've got obviously a lot of things that I do outside of footy, and gives me a lot of pleasure, and it allows me to keep climbing mountains and taking on challenges, which I think is really important in life. You can't stop growing. I've known in footy's probably been the biggest challenge of my life. It's really, every week there's a new challenge in it, and it's a funny thing, is it's only when you play well and you win that you actually feel good in this game, and I've had a lot of those days, and I would just like to, so it's, for me, I need to be doing that, and I've realised that that time has come, and I sort of was talking with the guys, and I said the last week has been a bit like I've been given a chainsaw, a hacksaw, and I've got to cut my hand off to survive, type of thing, and I've been looking at this thing and trying to cut, and I sort of found it really difficult to do, but now I've been able to deal with it and understand it, and I've realised now inside that it is time to move on. And I had a coach, John Nordy, who said to me, Jim, if you can leave footy without any regrets, then you'll be very, very happy. And while I'm sad that I didn't win a premiership, because you sort of think when you start playing, if you play for 10 or 12 years, you think you'll probably win one. Well, I haven't won one, and it is very disappointing for me, but I've had a lot of great experiences, and some of the best things in my life have happened at this football club. And I just want to say to all the other guys out there, all my teammates, particularly those who are really young, it will come and go like that. And don't leave this game without any regrets. And do whatever you can and do whatever you have to do to get the most out of yourself. And if a premiership comes along, then you're a very lucky person. I'd just like to finally just thank the club for given me an opportunity of a lifetime. Thank you.
So the Australians now have a week to think about that thrilling win. They come from behind victory. They trailed at quarter time, at half time, at three-quarter time, but then came home with a wet sail to win by one solitary point, 62 to 61, to win the first Test.